Max Verstappen's overwhelming display in F1 over the past few years has made it clear that he is an exceptional talent. But what do other drivers in Formula 1 think of Verstappen? Let's find out. You will be amazed by what they said about the Formula 1 world champion. Max Verstappen has been imperious and utterly dominant in his bid to retain his title this year. The Dutchman has won not only when starting at pole position, but also while starting in the pack. At the Belgian Grand Prix, the Red Bull driver made a lightning fast charge from position 14 to first place, and that can be considered Verstappen's best victory thus far this season. After recovering from a fall into the gravel and fighting his way back to the front, the 25-year-old showcased his incredible racecraft at the Spanish Grand Prix. Verstappen leads Charles Leclerc, who is second in the driver's standings, by a nearly insurmountable point advantage. Carlos Sainz, who drives for Ferrari, is one of the drivers that has commented on Verstappen's performance this season. Sainz, who has had a poor season, acknowledged Verstappen's ability to rebound from mistakes. He specifically mentioned the Spanish Grand Prix and the race at the Hungaroring, both of which were won by Verstappen despite the fact that he spun on the exit of the penultimate corner. According to Sainz, his former teammate Verstappen has been driving brilliantly and has made very few mistakes throughout what is shaping up to be a successful defense of the championship. Carlos Sainz: I think he's had a very strong season. He's done very little mistakes. Whenever he's done mistakes, like in Spain, he spun in the same place than me. In Hungary he spun, he recovered from the mistakes and gone on to win. I think this is the biggest difference, that even in the days that he's had maybe a bit of an off, he's still managed to go on and win. Verstappen's performance this season has been amazing, despite the fact that his season actually got off to such a terrible start when reliability issues plagued Red Bull. The Dutch driver had to pull out of 2 of the first 3 races due to mechanical issues, and as a direct result, Leclerc was able to win both of those races. Since then, it is undeniable that the Dutch driver has made significant progress. And Sainz has acknowledged that Verstappen and Red Bull have been super reliable. Sainz continued, since the first 3 races, they've also been super reliable, and you add up all those things and he's having an incredible season. And I think he deserves it. Him, as a driver, I think he's doing a particularly strong job. You're enjoying this video, right? You definitely don't want to miss out on other amazing videos. So all you have to do is hit the subscription button. It's that easy. Thanks for doing that. Let's move on. McLaren driver Lando Norris, who was on the podium with Max Verstappen at Imola back in April, was effusive in his admiration for the Dutch driver and insisted that he already deserves to be recognized among the sport's all-time greats. Norris said he's done a pretty good job. He should maybe have a go in our car and see what it's like. He's done amazing and has been very impressive. Similar to Lewis in previous years, he is one of the most talented drivers ever to come into Formula 1, one of the fastest. No doubt he is going to win his second title this year, and most likely he will go on to win a few more in the future, even in FP1, FP2, FP3. He's never under the limit. He's always pushing the limit, even FP1. The first lap of the whole day, his lap times are normally quicker than what we ever do in qualifying. Norris continued to praise Verstappen, remarking that the Dutchman is consistently on the limit. The British driver concluded by saying that Verstappen is one of the most gifted drivers to come into Formula 1, as well as one of the fastest. Sergio Perez. Red Bull made an unusual step outside their driver pool when they decided to drop Alex Albon into the reserve and development driver role for the 2021 season. As a result of this decision, Sergio Perez became teammates with the defending world champion at the start of the 2021 season. The Mexican race car driver has proven to be a good recruit for Red Bull and is expected to remain with the team for at least the next 2 racing seasons. And given how highly he regards Verstappen, it is clear that he is enjoying working with the current world championship leader. Following Verstappen's victory at the Canadian Grand Prix, Perez quickly congratulated his teammate and stated his belief that the Dutch driver should already be considered among the very finest drivers to have ever competed in Formula 1. Perez said, "Max is very good and he is a very complete driver. He is without a doubt one of the best in the history of Formula 1, if not the best for everything, for his education and because he has things that other Formula 1 drivers do not have." The special thing about Max is the ease of going to the limit. Max goes to the limit from the first lap. Every change he makes to the car is important, and it's not that he changes his conditioning style, he always goes to the limit. Daniel Riccardo, a former driver for Red Bull, commented not only on Max Verstappen's performance this season, but also on how the Dutch driver has developed over the course of his career. According to Daniel Riccardo, Max Verstappen made huge improvements in his performances during their 3rd season working together at Red Bull. Riccardo believes that Verstappen has found a new maturity that has moved his career forward. When Verstappen replaced the struggling Daniel Kvyat in early 2016, he won his first race as a Red Bull driver and became Formula 1's youngest ever race winner in the process. but his driving was still lagging in certain areas, as he was involved in multiple accidents and crashes as he made his way through the early stages of his career. He finished behind Riccardo in both the 2016 and 2017 seasons. However, Verstappen was able to overcome Riccardo's lead in 2018, finishing 79 points ahead of his teammate. It was after the 2018 season that Daniel Ricciardo moved on from Red Bull to take a seat with Renault. The current driver for McLaren believes that 2018 was when Verstappen reached his full potential as a race car driver. Ricciardo said he already kind of proved his speed from 2016, if not earlier. But in 2018, I remember the first 4 or 5 races, he had crashes and quite a lot of mistakes. He quickly found a way to fix that and matured a lot. I think in 2018, he made the biggest transition from a young boy into a man with some off-track maturity. It made his track results more consistent. To go on and see what he has done. If it can't be me, I'm glad it's him. At least I put up a fight to him. It makes me look okay. Ricciardo was very much the senior figure at Red Bull when Verstappen was rapidly promoted at short notice early in 2016. Still, the growth in Verstappen's experience slowly made him catch up, and he eventually began to beat Ricciardo in the sister car more regularly. When Daniel Ricciardo made the shocking decision to move to Renault for 2019, the team principal Christian Horner accused Ricciardo of running away from a fight. Ricciardo's reason for leaving Red Bull was said to be that he could see the team shifting towards being more Verstappen-centric after the young talent beat the Australian in the drivers' standings in 2018. Ricciardo did not want to play second fiddle at Red Bull, but even if Ricciardo had chosen to remain, Verstappen's performance in 2018 lifted him up a level, and it was unclear whether the 8-time race winner would have been able to keep up with him or not. Pierre Gasly, another F1 driver that has spoken about Max Verstappen, is Pierre Gasly. Gasly raced throughout the first half of the 2019 season for Red Bull alongside Verstappen, after which he was swiftly moved back to Toro Rosso, Red Bull's sister team, which is now AlphaTauri. While Gasly attempts to rebuild his career in Formula 1, Verstappen has made a mark in the sport. Reflecting on their respective journeys, Gasly took his hat off to the excellent Verstappen for the success he is now achieving. Gasly said, "I've been racing with Max for the past 15 years. Even before Formula 1, it's been always intense to race against him. That's what I always loved. The battles we've had in the past. The close racing. He's obviously extremely talented. He's excellent. I think the experience and the combination of what he built with Red Bull Racing is just an incredibly efficient package." Although Verstappen showed great performance from the beginning of his F1 career, several of his competitors questioned his attitude towards racing. As a result, a so-called Verstappen rule was implemented at one point to prevent moving under braking. Gasly believes since then, Verstappen has matured into an all-round better driver. Gasly said he was probably a bit raw when he came in F1, very aggressive, and made a couple of mistakes at the start, even if he was always super competitive. But I think now, over the last few years, he has just completely proven his potential. He is barely making any mistakes and delivering weekends in and out and really performing at the best of what Red Bull provides him. It's very impressive, but as I said, always entertaining to race against him. And I hope to have some really good and intense battles in the future against him. With all those thoughts about Verstappen, it is evident that we are on the verge of an even more brutal display of dominance than the one exhibited by Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. Now over to you. What are your thoughts about Max Verstappen? Let me know in the comment section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.